Kingdom people, they are offended by your confidence. They are offended by your confidence. They don't like that you are so confident. And they are literally offended as if you're doing something towards them. And the reason why they feel offended is because they don't have that confidence. And it's kind of like, how dare you have confidence when I don't? Like, quite literally, kingdom people. So here's the thing, kingdom people. God was just speaking to me about how you carry yourself, how intelligent you are, how driven you are, how you take care of yourself, how you present. And God was giving to me how everybody don't take care of themselves the way you do. Obviously, we know that. And here's the thing. For my women out there, many of you, you take the time to take care of your skin, whatever your skin routine may be. It may be something simple, but you take care of your skin. You take care of your health. You eat healthy for the most part. Many of you work out or you do something to get some exercise in. You care about your mental health. You take care of it. You protect it. You care about your spiritual health. And so everyone doesn't do this. And not just that kind of people. Some people do these things. And they do it to give themselves confidence. Let me say that another way. Some people get dressed. They dress up. They may dress very well. They may wear all the, or some of, designer clothes and brand names and things like that to give them a boost. It gives them confidence. And the thing about that is these kind of people, if they didn't have those things, they would not feel confident. You, on the other hand, you're confident already. And so because you are confident, first of all, you don't have to have on brand name and all the designers. Not that you don't do that too. But you understand that those things don't make you. You make it. Those things are just something for you to enjoy. Things that you like. So because you're able to have them and enjoy them and wear them, carry them, whatever the case may be, for my ladies who carry purses, and even for my guys that carry backpacks or bags, business type of bags, laptop bags, whatever the case may be. Because you have the confidence, you make those things. You make those clothes. Those clothes don't make you. You make the dress for my ladies. The dress don't make you. You make the suit for my men. Those suits don't make you. But for people who don't have confidence, the things that they do, including what they wear, makes them, and it gives them, I'm going to call it false confidence. Because if you don't have confidence because of who you are in yourself, in your abilities, in what you can do, but ultimately in who God created you to be, then it's not real confidence. If you need outside external things to give you confidence, then it's not really confidence. Because if you strip those things away from you, then you're not confident. On the other hand, kingdom people, if you didn't have none of those things, in fact, you may have had times in your life where you didn't have none of those things or some of those things, whatever the case may be, you were still confident. You were still building because you understand that those things don't make you. Those things don't give you the confidence. You have confidence, and so you can enjoy those things. And I'm hearing in balance, staying grounded, being grounded. And so, kingdom people, Pop goes the weasel. These people understand that about you. They realize that even though you you may put yourself together very well, you take time to care for yourself. In other words, you're not running out the house looking raggedy. And if by chance you do, or you think you do, it really isn't that. It really isn't raggedy. Raggedy to you would be, and I shouldn't even say raggedy, but just not putting time and care into what you do would be just you throwing on some sweats and a t-shirt, maybe a jacket, your gym shoes, or your little boots to go run to the store real fast. But you're looking good, and you're looking good because you have confidence, and not just that kind of people, but you take care of yourself. See, when you take care of yourself, you're gonna at least brush your teeth and clean your face. And because you do that on a regular, everyday basis, and again, for my men and women, you take care of your skin, your face, your body, the skin on your body. And, because men do this too. When men that be out here looking good and they face looking good and clear and smooth, it's because they're taking care of their skin. They make it a point to do that because they understand it's important. And it's a part of self-care. And they want to look good. They want to have good skin. It's a part of being healthy, having healthy skin. And so because you do that regularly, when you just throwing on something and running out, you looking good because you're glowing. You're glowing. And so you're confident even when you just have to throw on some things and run out and go do some things. On the other hand, you ever heard of people, and I'm going to speak specifically about women who can't do anything or go anywhere without makeup? That's someone who lacks confidence. And I'm not knocking makeup at all. I wear minimal makeup. I wear eyeshadow, mascara, and either lipstick or lip gloss or something like that. But for people who got to cover up and can't go nowhere, sometimes it's okay to just be natural. It's okay. And so when you feel like you can't go anywhere looking natural, it's because for the most part, you lack confidence because you have to be okay with looking natural. Also, people like that are, for the most part, concerned about how people are going to look at them. And the reason why they do that is because they don't feel like they look good without the makeup. They don't feel like they look good in their natural state. And that is because they lack the confidence in their natural state. And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing wrong with their natural state. It may look, vastly different than with makeup on, of course. But it's okay. And see, you kingdom people, you can do either or. Because you're comfortable with both. You're comfortable in your own skin. You're comfortable with who you are. So you're good with the makeup. You're good without it. For my men, you good with your nice haircut, fresh haircut. And you're good if you're looking a little, fuzzy. But you need to go ahead and take care of that. But you know how to still make it work for you. And you still confident. You just move and do what you need to do until you can get to it. And see, kingdom people, everybody don't have that kind of confidence. Also, just want to go back to the fact that you put time and care into yourself. Everybody don't do that. And it shows. And so what I've learned is people who don't take that time and care to just, make themselves presentable, for the most part, is because they lack self-love. Now, we can say that some people were never taught that way. They were never, for instance, when you have a parent, and if you are a parent that made it a point to take care of your children, make sure that they were clean and looking nice, put their clothes together instead of just throwing them on anything looking any kind of way, your children are going to, for the most part, carry that on. And by chance, if they didn't have a parent that did that and they just dressed them any kind of way, if they have develop some kind of confidence in themselves, coming to some knowing of who they are, just have a sense of pride when it comes to those things, when they're in a position to care for themselves, they're going to make an extra effort to take care of themselves better than they probably were taken care of, as a child by their caregivers, whether it be parents or whoever. And so I just mentioned that part to say that sometimes it carries on from the way you were cared for, growing up, or you just have to develop that on your own. The point I'm making here is there's an inner confidence that causes you to want to do that. There's a confidence that causes you to want to be presentable. There's a self-respect there that makes you do that. And for the most part, it's second nature. It's natural for you, And for people who don't do that, they just lack confidence and they just don't feel good enough to even care for themselves that way. Going back to what the whole topic is, they're offended by your confidence. They're offended by your confidence because they don't have the confidence to even take care of themselves like they see you taking care of yourself. And this is just simply the way you take care of yourself, the way you show up, the way you do things, the way you're driven, the way you go after what you go after. Confidence is what it is. Many people lack that kind of drive that you have, and your drive comes from your confidence. Of course, we know it comes from God, but again, it's in the confidence, not just in God, but who God called you to be and what he put in you. Everybody don't have that. And so what's happening, kingdom people, because they don't have that, they're offended because you do. They're offended because you got the nerve to show up confident. They're offended as if you done something to offend them. But they feel offended. They do feel like you're doing something to them. They feel like it's an attack on them. They feel like you're trying to insult them. And so listen, kingdom people, some of these people, you don't even know them. And you was doing what you was doing before they came cross paths with you. So it can't be about them. But they will make it about them. They make it about them because they lack confidence. They lack the confidence that you have. And so they make it a point to act like you're offending them by being confident, by being who you are, by presenting the way that you are and the way you do. And again, you been doing this. You ain't new to this. You true to this. Maybe you've evolved in that and expanded in the way that you do things. That's a thing too. Because as you elevate and come up higher, what happens too is, spiritually speaking, our appetites begin to change. The things we desire start to shift. We start to understand who we are more. And I'm hearing royalty. And it's an inner thing that's happening. So yeah, it's kind of like if you came from the hood. Just because you came from the hood don't mean that your appetite is for the hood. You may have an appetite for luxury. And I'm just using that as an example. You may have an appetite to live in Beverly Hills. Again, I'm just using that as an example. I don't even have that desire, but I'm making a point to live in a gated community, a better neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? To do different things. Maybe, you came from, you maybe at one point in time you used to hang out side on the corner. I'm just saying. But now you don't do that. You go to plays. You go to operas, orchestras. You see what I'm saying, kingdom people? You're doing things on another level because your appetite has changed. Things have shifted for you. And so, of course, in all that, You present different. You evolve. You've matured. And I'm just keep getting your appetite has changed, because when you elevate spiritually, everything else elevates too. So your desires, your interests, you see, all those things change. They shift. They go up higher, if you will. Or they just, they're no longer what they used to be. And so, in you doing all those things and moving in this kind of a way, people who are not quite there, people who are not confident that they could even ever get there, and some people it's not even a thought. So many people are comfortable where they are, but they're uncomfortable too, if that makes sense. And they especially become comfortable when it comes to you. They become uncomfortable when they come across you, because they see a confidence that they lack in themselves. And so it's not that they haven't seen it before, but it's something about you, because they don't expect that from you for whatever reason. Could be the way you look, because some people, they look you up, they size you up, they think you're supposed to be this. And I'm just going to use me as an example because I'm black, a black woman. And many people think I'm younger than what I am. So people have these preconceived notions, and they think I'm supposed to be a certain kind of way. And it turns out I'm not that. And so they know that whatever preconceived notion they had in their head about black women, or black women that look like this, or whatever it is, supposed to be a certain way, and they find out that's not what this is, they get offended by it. They get offended by it. They get offended when you have real confidence, because they're accustomed to false confidence, quite like they may even have. But again, they not able to even show up the way you show up, because they lack the confidence that you have to be able to show up the way you show up. The reason why you show up the way you show up, the way you move like you move, why you do what you do, pop goes the weasel, is because you confident. And kingdom people, they are offended by your confidence.